Right, no problem.
Fantastic.
I was just thinking, if we tell you a little bit about ourselves, our story, as it were, just in brief, of course. But if you have any questions, by all means, ask your questions, whatever questions they are, because hopefully we can answer them. Because, as Lorna said, been doing it 13 and a half years now. And we did Herbalife before we did this. So we've got quite a little bit of experience in all of these things. And, of course, where the experience really counts is the 13 and a half years we've had with Avon, because that's a lot of grounding in one company, really, and we know the ways the company runs, and to be fair, we know everybody at the top end, everybody we need to know. So, that helps us all, because if any of you have a question that we can't answer, we've always got somewhere to go, and we can go right to the top, which is pretty good. So that's the value, really, of us all being in one team like this, and people like ourselves who've been doing it a long time. We know a lot of people, so it does help. But just give you a little bit of background about ourselves, Nadine. Do you want to start?
Yeah, so I've done Avon twice before, years and years ago in the 1990s, so I'm sure the age now, just as a rep, because sales leadership wasn't around then. You was a rep or you was an area manager. And I think they did have, at one point, they did have sales leaders, but they'd work just with the area manager, and they used to get something if you recommended a friend. You get like £10 or something like that if they went on to place an order. But I was just a rep, and it was just to earn some extra money while I was skint and working full time. Then when me and Wayne got together, we weren't doing it anymore by then anyway, but we were both in debt. We were both skint. We both come off divorces. We was living in rented accommodation. And we tried to do a few different ventures. I don't know if any of you know where Botany Bay is. It's near sort of Blackpool, Charlie Way. So we had a little stall on Botany Bay, and the thing about Botany Bay was you didn't have to man the stall, so we could do our day jobs, we could work full time, and you just put stock on the stall and people would buy and you'd earn the money. Anyway, people didn't buy, so we didn't earn any money. So we stopped that after about 6 months. And then we started doing Herbalife. And we did Herbalife for 2 years, and we worked really hard. Was, doing everything that you should do. But again, it didn't work. We spent a lot more money than we earned. Well, we didn't really earn anything.
Loads and loads of time, didn't we?
Yeah, we bought a load of stock up front, so we'd earn more from it. And we ended up eating most of it because we could hardly sell it. But what happened was, we stopped doing Herbalife, and I changed my job, and things were settling down a little bit. We was getting a bit better off, and we decided to move flats. And we moved into a flat just down the road from where I was living before. And where we was currently living, we lived in like a big house which was converted into apartments or little flats. And the top one, the loft apartment, was where we had. And we did it all out really nice, but being at the top, it was boiling hot in summer and it was freezing cold in winter. We had no water pressure, so if you could run the bath, go shopping, and then come back 2 hours later and you'd have that much water in the bath. So these flats were advertised down the road, and they said luxury apartments with power showers. And I was like, ooh. And I actually sold some Herbalife to this girl who lived in one of these luxury apartments. And she went, I'm moving out soon, because they were buying a house. And I went, oh, let us look around your flat. So I had a look around, and I came back and I said, I'm moving to one of these apartments. Anyway, we moved in and everything was dead good and everything. But after 5 months, the landlord came to us and said he was selling the building. And I was mortified because we'd done quite a lot of work to it, hadn't we? We put fitted wardrobes in and stuff, made it all dead nice. And at that point, we decided to try and get a mortgage, and we got a mortgage, and we found the house that we lived in now. But the mortgage was with Northern Rock. And if anybody remembers, they were handing out mortgages like sweets, really high interest rates. and we knew we'd have to do something else. Herbalife, we weren't making any money from that anyway. But a person that we'd signed up in Herbalife, Claire, she rang me up just before we moved out. So she rang up, I told her what was going on. And she said, are you still doing Herbalife? And I said, not really, no. I said, we've got a couple of customers, but we're not like pushing it or anything. So she said, oh, I'm doing Avon. So I said, all right. So I just thought Avon rep. She said, I'm a sales leader. So I said, what do you mean a sales leader? Do you mean an area manager? I thought she meant area manager. She said, no, it's sales leadership. It's network marketing. I'm like, what, Avon? She said, yeah, Avon. I'm like, as in Avon Cosmetics? She said, yeah, Avon. I went, as in Avon rep? She said, yeah, you sign up Avon reps into your team. That was it for me. I just knew it'd work. I just knew, and I was just like, when he come home from work, I said, we're doing Avon. What did you hear? Avon. Avon. It's like that. But I said, yeah, I said it'll work, and I just knew it'd work from day one. Avon and network marketing, and that was us. We started doing Avon the day we moved into our house, didn't we?
I was obviously a little bit sceptical. I'm an engineer, really, so all my life I've been an engineer, and that's all I'd ever known, really, apart from having to go to this herbal life and looking after my mum's cafe once or twice while she went on holiday. But really, that's all I'd known. So when we put the books out, we started to get orders, which was different than Herbalife. It seemed to flow quite nicely. The products were nice. And of course, what we did, we signed up direct as a sales leader straight away. So Nadine signed as a sales leader, and the first person she signed up was me. So that was it. Or we signed me up, as it were. So there was Nadine, there was me. And then we just started to sign up. Once we learned what to do, not that anybody's shown us, we guessed. We got going and we got signing people. And so we started in 2005. And it was like the August one to 2005.
Campaign
October.
13, yeah.
Right. About August then, 2005. So then we had a run up to Christmas, as it were. But then the first full year, 2006, when we weighed it up at the end of 2006, we'd earned £8,000. And in actual fact, £8,700. Now, don't forget, we're doing it part-time. That's it's a massive help to us, that. It was just massive to earn £8,000. Really nice, actually. So we just thought, well, okay, what we need to do is more of the same. We're actually earning money. And that's exactly what we did. We just, in between work, because I work shifts, you had a lot of travelling, didn't you, to and fro work and that. But in between work, in between shifts, weekends, at nights when we got home, if it was on earlys, we signed people up, we put the effort in. It's simple as that, we put the work in. And in 2007, for that year, we earned £31,000. And that's the top of our earnings. That's pretty massive. It was massive then, and it's still a lot of money now. When you're thinking about it, on top of the wage, the year after, we earned, and what's significant about this is we earned £49,000. But Nadine had earned £47,000 in her name, but I had a tiny little team in my name, and I had £2,000 on my own name. So altogether, it was £49,000. But we changed all the shifts where I worked. So I worked at AstraZeneca, and I would have been going on nights again and doing things like that. And we took the decision, didn't we, that basically I'd had me noticing. So we took the plunge. I mean, why wouldn't it work? It had been working for the last 3 years. We've been earning more than more, and it was just the right decision. So that's what we did. I handed me notice in. Nobody could believe it, including me, really, because that's all I've ever known. Clocking on, engineer. And then the year after, it went up. We earned £68,000. The year after, we earned £91,000. Last year, Nadine stopped, so we didn't jump ship too early. We still had debts we had to pay for. We was in a house that we couldn't really afford the mortgage. But of course, by this time, things are looking up. Things are starting to change around a little bit. So Nadine stopped on that in 2010.
Yeah, Christmas 2010.
Christmas 2010. And to be quite honest with you, we've got 2011 right the way down to last year. And last year we were £20,000. And I think this year it will be greater than million. So that tells you, you know, it's been a fantastic journey for us all the way along with that. Holidays. Where have we been on holiday? I can never remember.
Right. Prague, Mallorca, Carlo, Berlin, Malta, Rome, Marrakesh, New York, Seville, and we're running for Nice for next year.
We should both qualify for Nice next year. So yeah, we've had plenty of holidays with Avon, loads of different little incentives we've won, and we've been overnight stays everywhere, haven't we? Cars. Nadene's been in the car program since 2011.
6 years. 2012.
2012, she got an Astra GTC from Avon, which was a cracking car. We really enjoyed the car. If there's a little story with that, just to let you know,
we've been working really hard to achieve the car program in 2012, and it was one of them when we got results every campaign. I'd look, and am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? It was one of them. I'd either just miss out or I'd just get it. Anyway, on the campaign, because at that time you qualified in campaign 12, and Angela Tucker, who was like the sales director at the time, said, "I'll phone you up if you've done it." And I'm like, "Oh, please." Anyway, I got the phone call and she said, "You've done it, you've done it." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't believe it. You only did it by £800. I was like, £800, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so we'd worked really hard. I qualified for the car. And then at the event, the Live Your Dream event, you get presented with a car. So there was like a gala dinner and then a meeting the day after. And during the gala dinner, the car was on stage, or a car like it was on stage, and got me on stage and everything. Everything was dead good, give you champagne and everything else. And that was it. And the next day, there was actually a car on the stage, another car, an Audi A1, for somebody to win in a prize draw. So during this prize draw, they said to us, to everybody in the room, everybody who's in the North region remain standing, so we all remain standing. And they said, everybody who's in...
I'll just check my phone, 1 second.
Yeah, sorry, it's the daughter. They said, anybody who's in whichever division it was, Aries, called Aries at the time, in Aries division, remain standing. So we were like, oh, somebody in our division. So we're looking around, like, looking at all the people in our division. And I'm thinking, gosh, I hope it's not us. After winning, like, qualifying for car last night. And then they said, right, the person who's actually won the car is in area 825. And I'm thinking, oh no, we're in area 825. And there's only, look around, there's only about 10 people in area 825. And I'm thinking, oh, I hope it's Shirley. We had a girl called Shirley at the time in our team in area 825. I thought, I hope it's her. And she goes, if your name's not this name that we're going to mention, sit down. And if your name is this person, come to the stage, you've won a car. And he said, then the person who's won the car is Wayne Rowlands. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. I was so embarrassed. And he's like, oh, what do we do? So he gets on stage. And I'm like, stood up. I sat down. I'm thinking, do I get up with him? Do I not? And I'm like, oh. And I ended up getting up. And there's a picture of us both in the car. And I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. And everybody that was walking around during lunch hour, and I was like, oh, what have you done? Look at you, you've won 2 cars. I was just like, stop it, I'm so embarrassed.
Sorry, I have to just check. My daughter phones sometimes like that, and but my mum's not well, and sometimes she phones, like my stepdad isn't. Sometimes she phones my daughter, and my daughter tells me. So I have to check the call. Yeah, so we won that car, didn't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, and of course, like now with Nadine, then you've got a Mazda 6, didn't you?
Yeah, 2014.
2014, and then she qualified at the next level again, driving a Jag, which is really nice for Avon. And I've just qualified this time in my own right. I've got an orange Mini sat outside, which is really nice as well. And I think the thing behind the story is this: we're just ordinary people. We're just people who've just got on with it, just tried to build a business, and Avon has worked for us. So you people, really, to be fair, you've all got good customer bases, which we never had. And I think that you've got a great start to the business, really. And you've got these opportunities going forward. You just have to give it a little bit of time. Obviously, be patient, keep doing what you're doing. I think that's the key with Avon. Have some, you've got to have some patience, but some durability as well, because you will get quite a lot of knockbacks.
Yeah, people let you down. You're going to know that anyway from what you were doing before, but yeah, you get knocked out. You've just got to learn to pick yourself back up again. That's all we've ever done, really, isn't it? We didn't have a choice, to be honest. So we just kept plugging away at it and going for it. You know, people let us down, but then you get somebody who was nice and a really good representative in the team, so it pick you up again.
I think something which you need to think about, everybody, because obviously you're all recruiting, probably. Is that right, Lauren? We just nod if you on mute. Everybody's going to be recruiting and stuff.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do as you go forward is spread yourself too thin. And of course, you want everybody you know now to get them into your team, don't you, as quickly as possible, because that's important. What you need to do is, in your cases, is build your width and then your depth will come. So anybody you know who's going to be quite good retailers or possible sales leaders in your team, you want them as soon as possible. Get them signed up. You need them as soon as possible. And then you're starting off with a good width, and the depth will automatically follow. You just have to be patient with that, but it will come. And of course, rather than, because what will happen is if you don't get the people in your team just with experience, they'll go somebody else's. Somebody else will go and see them, won't they? I mentioned it to them before you, and then you lose them people. But if you get good people in your team, that is a good start to building the business. You don't know nobody. If nobody wants to join your team, no problem. You've got a good retail. Just start recruiting, and then you're looking for one sales leader as your sales get in. But look at the structure properly. If you're not sure about the structure, of course, Lana and John know the structure. But you're quite, in order to ask us or whatever, there's no problem at all. We can always go through all that with you. It's not too difficult. You've got to take it a little bit at a time. Sorry, did somebody speak or?
Let me just.
No, okay.
Oh, am I sound's on, isn't it? So that's fine. I was going to say to you guys, I mean, I think obviously you mentioned it a second ago, but with the width, that's quite important, isn't it, at the beginning, to try and build rather than the depth.
It is, because that's where your main money is going to come from. Your biggest commissions are earned on your top line, your front line. But your depth will come from your width, because it's the people in your team who will then bring on people underneath. So like the Avon commission structure, I mean, I know it says all the way through to exec and VIP even that you only need 20 frontline people in your team. That's quite impossible to achieve, for most people, unless you've got a big front line. You can't really get to exec.
No, you don't want that anyway. It's misleading. If you look at the structure and it says you need personally 20 people front line, well, that's fantastic. If you're at coordinator level, you won't be a coordinator if you've got 20, will you? Senior coordinator probably, and you could have 20 people in your front line, but then you're looking for the sales leader. But when you reach leader level, you want your number really to be 35 to 40 front line. Okay, because of course you're going to get then 7% on 35 to 40 people's orders. All them frontline orders you're going to be getting 7% on. So, that's what you need. You need, and then some 35, 40. But to be an advanced leader, Avon say 20, again, don't be misled by that. Ideally, you want your front line going up, and you want that 30 to 40 to be 60, 70 or 80. The bigger it is, the better you'll be, the more you'll earn. And it's as simple as this. Sales leaders will come from your front line. So you'll want sales leaders as you go forward, as you start to build your team, and then people will come from the front line. We've had 2 come through over the last couple of days just from our front lines. So that's where they'll come from. So, don't be misled by Avon saying, the structure looking like it means you should have 20 and you only need 20, because you don't. You do, but you don't. Just our experience on that. Once you're up to senior coordinator, and then starting to move to leader level, you're looking at 35, 40, and then advanced leader, you want to turn that 40 into 65, 70, and then of course up and up and up. And that's the way you learn the most money, on your front line. And of course, the higher up the structure you go, automatically you will learn more on your second generation and your third generation. So, the front line will move you up the structure. I think we've just got a delivery now.
Yeah, I was off Amazon yesterday. I've ordered a new shredder, so we can keep in line with GDPR. Nice big shredder. Ordered. But yeah, it looks like it's all just coming now anyway.
That's a really good idea. So you guys have got, how many have you got on your front lines?
Wayne's got like 220 odd placing orders at the minute. I've got 117, I think, this time placing orders. So I need to build mine up because I need mine to be about 200 again. So, but we've been training sales leaders up and everything else. So we've not even appointed really that much into our frontline teams this year. But as you go along with the business, the longer you've had your people in your team, the more stable they'll become. So like my team is quite stable. So most of the people that I've had on mine, I've had for ages because I've not recruited into my frontline for ages. So most of the people there are like long-standing representatives. So
I'm not so bad now either.
But yeah, you're getting there now as well. In fact, we've got the same level of activity, haven't we?
Yes.
So yeah, we are basically the same now. So it was always like my team was the better team, but now Wayne's as well now, so he's caught up.
Yeah, the competition.
Yeah, I think if you look at the way you're building your team, Lorna, now yourself and Graham, as Graham's in your team, I'm in Nadine's team. So everybody needs to perhaps think about that as well, because you can earn twice on the same people as you go forward. I'm sure you recognise that already. But you might have noticed, like with myself and Nadine, we used me for the first 3 years to move Nadine up the levels. And that's what we did. And then once Nadine got where we needed to get to, then we started to build my team. So don't build it upside down. That's the point. So if we'd have built my team, they'd have put 40, 50 people in my team. And Nadine only had 6, 7 people, 12 people, say 12 people, and I had 40, 50 in my team. And now I go and pick up 3 sales leaders. We're deciding to build it upside down. You understand what I'm saying? Build the front line first, and then, of course, your second line will follow. And that's what we did. And it's the same as yourself, Lorna and Graham. You're doing it exactly the correct way.
Because that's what you advised us to do.
You are doing, yeah. And you will earn most money. And as you start going up, you want eventually Graham to be one of the people who are there with you when you reach exec. So Graham will have to be an advanced leader, as well as, every people on the call now. People want to reach advanced leader. And then you will need people in your team to take you up towards it's a constant planning and a constant adjusting, especially like where we are now, because we're running 2 teams. Every campaign, track your teams, have a look at your team. That's pretty good advice as well. Just stand back a little bit and then have a proper way up. Where do you need sales leaders? What's going to take the business going forward in the right way? So we have a little look every single time, don't we? So we know where we are. Guys, you're running 2 teams, you need to know where to concentrate on. If you've logic, that's all we've done in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any sense?
Does anyone else have any questions, whether you want to put them in the chat box or unmute yourself and obviously ask away, because I don't mind asking questions, but
I just want to ask, what's the best way to recruit people?
Do you mean how to find people, or?
Yeah, what do you think? What's your best ways?
Well, when we started off, we had no money or anything to invest properly. We used to do loads of flyers. We did that with Herbalife as well. So we had flyers made up. But with flyers, they have you need to do like thousands before you get anywhere. So we used to keep quite fit and active. I was a lot slimmer in them days as well when I did flyers. But they have a latent effect. Like, you can put loads of flyers out this week, you don't get any response. Next week, you might not get any response. Well, then you might get a response like 3 weeks after, and then they start coming in then, the responses from all that you're doing. And I think with any type of lead generation you're going to do, be consistent. So don't just give it a week, 2 weeks, even a campaign and think, oh, it's not working this. You have to be consistent at it. I've got some team members who are doing really well at the minute on Facebook. Like Louise Radcliffe, she's doing really well. And she'd be available on our group if you want to ask her how she's doing it. She asked me for advice, and it was only about 18 months ago, how to recruit and how to get leads and even sales on Facebook. And I just told her what I knew, and now she's doing better than me on that side. So she's doing that.
Yeah, but she's concentrating on that, isn't she?
She is. But Louise as well, she goes out on stalls. She works quite closely with the area managers. So that's always a good way, because they're instructed now. I shouldn't tell you this because it's quite secret, but the area manager role is changing, and I think something might be announced next week. They're going more from recruiting. They've always been recruiting since as long as we've been doing Avon. There's always been a level of competition between area managers and sales leaders. And to move the business forward, Avon are recognising now that things have got to change. We can't have this competition. We all need to be working for the same objective, and that's to get people into the business and to grow Avon. So the area manager role is changing to one more of helping sales leaders. So no matter whose team they're in. So previously, they used to help people that they've signed in themselves and rely on sales leaders to help their own teams, which, yeah, it's fair enough. We should help our own teams. But as with everything else, you're always going to get a rogue sales leader who's not very helpful with the team members that they get. And they are going to be helping.
I think that's the key. We can use them a little bit.
I think they're going to be doing like stalls and inviting you on stalls, door knocking. And I think if you do get invited out by your area managers, you should definitely go with them. And it's going to be a case of you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. So the more you do in the areas, the more you'll get help in the future. And we know that. So I think something will be announced next week on the 22nd.
Yeah, you're going out on the 22nd.
Hopefully we've got some news for you next week, yeah.
Say, Lorna, you're going on the 22nd, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm staying with Jill and Pete. They're very kindly, in case we need to, I don't know, there might be a hospital nearby.
Oh dear, yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it actually. So
all the mobbing news that Nadine's just mentioned there, then, and of course we've got website, we're having our website redone at the moment as well.
Yeah.
And of course, we use some of the lead generation companies as well, which also help. So we've got our finger basically in several different pies to generate leads. And, they go through stages. Sometimes they're pretty good. Sometimes you think, these aren't so good. And it's like that. It's the same. It won't be any different than what you've done before, I don't think.
Now, just to ask, obviously Gary at Advert Anywhere, I had my first Avon campaign with him last month, but I only got one lead. Is that normal?
Well, which it depends what you got. Did you get a local ad?
No, it was it was £30 for one area.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you go for the areas.
Right, okay.
I'd recommend that you stick to national. Now, what he'll do once a month, he'll put out a cooperative ad, basically for our team, and I usually end up putting it on our group, whereby he'll do a national ad and people can buy into it. With video calling now, I think everybody will be benefiting by doing video calling. And from campaign 13, I believe it's campaign 13, Avon are going to introduce starter packs that we can offer to people.
Yeah.
And it's going to make the way we recruit more duplicatable. But not only that, Avon are going to start sending the books out from head office rather than us having to get a load of books and courier it to the person. So that in that way it's going to be easier. But I'd always recommend a national advert.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And really, I would imagine if you get a national ad, the amount of leads would be in the region, I would imagine, of 7, 8, even 9, 10. It depends. It just depends. Right, okay. What Gary does, he does an advert. It's like maybe you in the past you've used BIG, where you buy an amount of leads.
Yeah.
With Advert Anywhere, it's slightly different. You will do an advert for them or for you, and basically it's who replies to that advert. So you just it's the same as everything, really. It's a chance in it.
I know you, because you've got some, haven't you, Lorne? How are you getting on with your campaign with Gary?
Yeah, I started, I think it was about a week and a half ago. I haven't had anything through yet, but again, maybe the mistake that I made was going for area.
Yeah. Right.
So we did the total jobs one, just to kind of test it out.
Yeah.
But maybe if that can be done national, can that be done national?
I think they are regional, the total jobs. However, because I've been doing total jobs and testing it all year, but I have a lot of areas. So I think the more areas...
Yeah, a lot of areas on...
Yeah. So I think the more areas, it's basically national, what I'm covering. I think what you need to do, if you're not getting what you want or need from Gary, I think you should give him a ring and just say, look, I've only had one lead, I'm only getting a few leads or whatever. If you need more, you'd always suggest to your national. It's just we do have some sales leaders on the group that just like working in one area and doing it really locally, and they might live in a densely populated area, which you do get value for money from that area. But if your area is not so populated, then you're relying on people from your area to apply to an advert. Yeah,
you're limiting yourself, aren't you, by having one area? And there's no reason to have one area if you're going to do video calls. So you want national, and I think, if I'm wrong, Nadine, Avon specific.
Oh, always Avon specific. I would, but I've never known anything else with Avon. Because with Herbalife, we got work from home leads and business opportunity leads, but with Avon, it's always been Avon specific. So, you'd have a lot more people to phone and a lot more no's if you did get business opportunity leads from Gary, but you might be able to convert some of them, if you use one of your old ads. I don't know. That'd be up to you to decide.
Paul, did I see you go to ask a question? Or
yes, I put something in the chat.
Oh, sorry, that was you. It just says iPhone, that's all.
Yeah, I changed the name to Multimanian. Yeah.
No, that's fine. I think Nadine...
I'm typing the answers, yeah.
And I think one of the other questions that a few people have asked, which I think is quite... Because it's a sort of income replacement kind of question is, you know, and I know you guys explained this to us, but that's, you know, different. To earn £1,000, excluding any retail that you do, so we're talking about focusing on being a sales leader, and earning, you know, which is effectively a full-time income, especially if that's a 3-week campaign, obviously. What would you say, what would be your advice to somebody wanting to achieve that, you know, as quickly as possible, really, I suppose?
I think if you look at the Fast Start programme, which is for 18 campaigns, try your best. You're not going to get all the bonuses, I don't think, but try your best. You might do, to get as many bonuses as you can, and aim to get to advanced leader as soon as you possibly can. Lorna's done amazingly. You know, 8 campaigns to achieve advanced leader is amazing, and I'd follow Lorna's lead on how she's doing it. Because the quicker you can get there, the quicker you will be earning like £1,000 a campaign.
I think what you've got to aim for now, Lorna, as well, is to get your front line. You need your front line. The higher up you can get your front line, the more you'll start to win as well. So, you know, that's advice, you know, to like yourself and Graham there as well.
I mean, as advanced leader, you only need 2 sales leaders under you at advanced coordinator level or above. And I think the quicker you can get there, because you're on bigger commissions and everything, and if you can do that within a year, and you'll be getting the bigger bonuses as well, you know, that is the way to go. I think we had some facts and figures, didn't we?
Well, yeah, I think I did.
So, I mean, really, you're saying to, I mean, because our commission this campaign, and I still think this is amazing, is working between Graham and I is going to be 1,700.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's, you know, I know that includes the Fast Start bonuses, but I think that's, you know, fantastic to get to that level quite quickly. So your advice would be for everyone on here to try and aim, you know, leader level, and then advanced leader as soon as.
Yeah.
Did you say two advanced coordinators? It's still not, you know, it's not a massive task, is it?
No.
To get to that level.
No.
So,
and if you've got more people in your front line, and then every now and again just sort of prospect the other opportunities to when they've been doing it a few campaigns, and just say, would you like to earn more money from Avon? And you know, people will buy it, and then just make sure that those people that you get in, you know, you get involved in sales leadership, you get them trained up really quickly, you get them qualifying quickly, and then, you know, once you've got them to advanced coordinator and they're doing what they do, then you need one more and just do the same with somebody else.
I think to sum it up, really.
But as well as, it's a bit of juggling that, because as well as building your own front line, of course.
Yeah, so. I say, to sum it up, really, I suppose, you need the front line, because the front line is key. Okay. You need to be advanced leader. If you want to be earning, like you say, around about £1,000, you need an advanced leader, or you need to be advanced leader level, but you need two progressive advanced coordinators. So they might be advanced coordinator, but then they're on the way moving up to senior coordinator. They're on the way moving up towards leader level. So as they progress, it gives you opportunity then as well to keep going to your front line. You pick up another sales leader away on the way, and they start to progress as well. So now you've got 3 sales leaders, and all of a sudden, before you know it, Lorna, now yourself and Graham, you know, you'll be heading towards senior leader. You know, that'll be your next sort of target in your mind as you start going forward. So front line is key. Your front line is key. The bigger your front line, the more you're going to learn. You need to, if you want to earn £1,000 a campaign now, you need to be aiming for the advanced leader level with a decent front line, and then a couple of progressive sales leaders. You don't need 100 sales leaders, because how are you going to look after them? There's too many. So you need 2 good ones, 3 good ones. As I said, you're in a slightly different position because, you know, you perhaps know people and don't miss them. If you've got 4 or 5 and they're all pretty good, that's not going to do you any harm. Okay. You see, all you people are durable. You've all been in the business a long time, so you know you know how it works. Yeah. So don't miss people you can get into your front line, but over a period of time, you don't want to be relying on the bonuses. So Lorna, when by the time you've done a year and that fast start bonus disappears, you want your commission structure, your team to have built to such a position that you're earning enough on commission only. So that's your task really now, to drive your business forward in that way. But it's everybody's task. It's our task as well. It's still our task. That doesn't alter. And that's why I say every campaign, we look at where both our businesses are. We look at where our sales leaders are. We look at where we need to progress and where we don't, or, where we can juggle a little bit. And this campaign now, campaign 10, just close to £14,000. We just done. So for 3 weeks, it's not too bad. We can't argue, really, obviously. So that's where you can get it to. And I'll be dead square with you as well. As you go forward, and this is nowhere near where you are yet, seriously, but we can leave off recruiting for quite a while.
Yeah.
We're doing other things, training people up, getting involved with Avon, with different projects and different things. So we might not recruit for them. Well, that's not where you are now. You've got to recruit to get your business off the ground and going forward. Our business is growing even if we don't recruit personally. It changes as you move up those levels. And it's not that you're sitting back or sitting on your laurels, because that's exactly what we're not doing. This campaign, over last year, I think we probably earned about £1,300 more than we did this time last year on this campaign. Nice little pick-up, a nice little pick-up.
So what would you say is your on-target earnings this year, did you say?
Well, I'd like it to be $250,000. It's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it? 250,000, I would think, yeah. I think we should be able to achieve it. You know what it depends on? And everybody will understand this. It will depend on how the changes completely go. We're still in the throes of changes here with Avon. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people don't like change. And a lot of our team are like old in the tooth, and they're like, oh, I don't like it.
Well, we can say the good changes, loads of things.
There's loads of things coming out, which are going to benefit the business. So.
And on the 22nd, Lorna, you'll see the energy there. Yeah. There'll be loads and loads of energy there. And real good things. We're just getting loads of meetings, haven't we?
Yeah.
And everybody's fired up, everybody's excited. So I definitely think, there is a good chance. There's a good chance we will have, I would think, a 15 to 20% rise over last year, which is pretty decent when you're earning pretty good cash.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I'm hopeful. If we don't, we don't. But that's our target. We've got that down as a target for ourselves. So that'd be nice. That'd be nice. But it's about building your business the right way. Front line. You all need to get to advanced leader as soon as you can, with a couple of strong sales leaders, progressive, and a good front line. If you pick a couple of more sales leaders up, albeit, that's great. And that's it. But have yourself a target. So has everybody got the newsletter, Nadine?
Would have. The last one, not this one, because I've not done it yet.
All right, okay.
Give me a chance.
So if you get a newsletter and you see your name on the newsletter, of course, pick somebody you want to aim for and get yourself a target. That's the key. Get yourself a target. Look what people are recruiting. Get yourself a target for people, especially somebody not in yellow, because somebody in yellow is in our team. So,
in our
network. So you want to look and see who isn't in yellow. Aim for them.
Yeah.
Aim for them. We can't condone you aiming for anybody in team.
And if you want,
you can. It's up to you. I'm only kidding. Aim for people. That's how you progress. Set yourself targets. That's what we've done all the way along. And all the figures are there, aren't they? They're open for everybody to see on their newsletters. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, Nadine, regarding Leeds, Gary, and different things, we've got this
GDPR. Gary won't have
situation.
mentioned it here, but yeah, we're sort of going to have to change the way we deal with leads and the way we pass leads on to team and things like that.
Well, you'll have to do the same.
Well, what I'm going to do, when it comes out, I'm going to do a Zoom call for everybody who has leads in the front line. And obviously, Lorna, you'll be invited, so you'll have to invite people who are going to have leads off you, because it's going to affect everybody. All right. So, yeah, we're going to have to change things the way we do. We won't be able to email people's details across anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
change a bit.
This was, just give me a second, just a brief one. Yeah, here's one of the newsletters I was saying. Oh, this is, I think this was for campaign 8, was it, Nadine? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one for 8.
Rebecca Testar is my upline's upline. So she produces like the results for all her network. And what I do when I get it, I highlight all our team in yellow so that everyone knows who's in our network.
We are all in
part of
Rebecca's
her
network, to be fair.
But I just sort of highlight the ones that are in mine and Wayne's.
So, we're almost all
There's
yellow.
a lot of yellow.
So we have got, between us, we've got a bigger network, of course, than like Rebecca has. You know what I'm saying? And we're just one leg of Rebecca's team. So, aim for somebody who's above you and just try and overtake them. That's the key. That's a good. You will have shot up tremendously.
She has.
Let's have a look.
She's not on there. Because Lorna in A, you only had, was it 7765?
Well, it is right.
No, nah. Yeah, in 8, this would have been campaign 8 because she produced one for 9.
Yes.
And then 10, and then this time you've got, well, what is it, 20? What have you got? Group sales?
All these guys, the team did nearly 21 and a half, I think it was.
Yeah, 21 and a half, yeah.
Well, you see, what we're seeing here, it is amazing. What we're seeing here is the power of how the system works, isn't it? Because that's what you've got, but of course now Dawn and Martin have got like 29,000.
Excellent.
Massive. Yeah, excellent. That's how it works.
Really good. Yeah.
That's how it works. And that's why we're all in the business, isn't it? Because we know how it works.
Exactly. That's what we all love about it, isn't it?
It is. I'll just show you what we do, just briefly, with our statements. You might be able to see. But basically, what we always used to do is actually work out what our campaign 12 figures were for last year. And the reason we did that, once you've worked it out, we've got a target all year. Because what happens is we want to see whether we're in growth against campaign 12 last year or not. Okay. And that's something we've always done. Campaign 12 is like an average.
Avon's year used to go from 13 to 12.
It did.
So that's why we do that. We want to see we're still sort of on target.
And sometimes you end up in growth, sometimes you're not. We're possibly this time just in growth. I think we probably will be when the figures come out. But what we always do, we always work out our frontline average orders. So you might be able to see Nadine's there. And the 3-generation average orders. So we always work them out as well. And log all of that. So I can go back for 5, 6, 7 years. And I can see what the average orders have been on every campaign. And you can see trends up and down. So I'm just trying to say it is good to track things if you can. And of course, as you start picking sales leaders up now, Lorna, you'll see that now. You start to get a report, don't you? You start to see everybody, which is pretty good. That allows you to track your team even better, doesn't it? Your summary report. But yeah. So any questions, I suppose? If you've got anything specific you want to ask us, just ask us.
I'm sure. one of those things, isn't it? Everyone thinks of something afterwards.
Well, it don't matter. It don't have
I think
to
a
be
few
now.
people, Lorna, want to go on the Facebook group.
Ah, yes. Well, I think Robert said that. Yes, yes. I didn't realise he wasn't on there, so that's fine. Yeah,
And Paul, he wants to go on the group as well, I think. Yeah.
that's
So
fine.
you're all sales leaders now.
Can I just ask a question, please?
Of course you can.
What do you do about retention? Because it's easy, you know, putting people in all the time, but it's retaining them that is
Yeah, it is.
paramount, I should think. What
Yeah.
do you do?
So what we do, I don't know if you got the.
Management.
Yeah, I'll ask Lorna. Have you got the links to the old order management where it says place an order, and orders not placed?
I'm sure. You mean not looking in my Avon office, not looking at?
Yeah, because I don't know if you find my Avon office, you go from one part to another part, and it's not very, like, you haven't got like a list of people. What we used to have before my Avon office. Now my Avon office hopefully is a bit easier to use once we come out of mail plans, because it doesn't really work well with mail plans. But what we used to use was something called order management. Now Avon took it off us, but then they gave us the links back because we was all moaning because we always like the old system. So I'll send Lorna the links, and there's a link for people who've not placed an order. It's only for your front line though, and people who have placed an order. And from those links, so once you're on your website, the main website where you place your orders, etc., you can bookmark the links, go into one of the links, say not placed an order, and you can sort the columns out by when the orders need to be placed. So you can see who's not placed, and you can see when the date is, when they're due to place, so you can chase people up, and you can make sure they're all right. If you go on the one that says orders placed, well, sometimes you might have people who've got a held order. Now, I know you can see this as well on my Avon office, and there's the active management section. Yeah. So you need to contact people who've got held order. They might have gone over the credit limit, or they might not have paid the bill from last time. So you can sort of investigate people. And I just send them a friendly reminder on the campaign for people, remind people to put their orders in. If you find people are like placing little orders under minimum order value, give them a ring, you know, why you're not earning any money, you know, just buy something yourself for a bit.
I think if people place
it's
an
just a
order
matter of
about
encouraging
80.
people. You can lead an horse to water at the end of the day, and they might not drink, and you're going to get people who are just going to ignore you forevermore. But, you know, sometimes you can save people, and it's just sometimes people feel daft asking a question. So when we sign somebody up, a couple of days later we'll give them a ring, just make sure everything's all right. They're putting the books out. The most important part, they're putting the books out and they're getting orders. And then maybe after a week, see how they're doing. It might be that they've got quite a big order, and encourage them to put that order in if they've got a biggish order. You might have to do, you know, another Zoom call or a video call with them, show them how to put their order in. Depends on their level of understanding, really. Some people you've got to take them by the hand more than others. And then we have a series of emails. I don't know whether you use them as well, Lorna, but we have a series of like 9 emails we send to them in total. It might seem a bit bizarre, but we send them emails every step of the way with instructions on, you know, just basically so they don't feel like left behind, or they know that they can come to you. Just make sure they know they can come to you. Any problems, you've got all your contact details, and no question's a daft question. The only daft question is the one they don't ask, and all that. You know, you just got to make people feel comfortable with you. But like I say, you can lead the horse to water sometimes, and there's nothing you can do sometimes.
I can also say Avon, or we can say Avon, are definitely looking at retention and ways of actually improving retention, and that might well be with some extra finances for other representatives, some extra incentives. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all in here because we're earning money, and we want the representatives to earn money as well. So Avon are looking at that, and of course the more reps stay, the more money we ourselves are going to earn, aren't we? So Avon are definitely looking at that. That was mentioned in one of the meetings we've just come out of. So, you know, we just have to watch this space. That's not our decision, but, you know, we know it's being looked at, type of thing.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be good if they do look at that. I mean, they're going to have to change one or two things yet going forward. There's loads of stuff being looked at, but all for our benefit. And the reason I can say it's all for our benefit, it is becoming now, instead of a corporate-led organisation, it's going to be a leader-led organisation. And then the corporate side's going to follow us. That's how it's going to be, definitely. I say we've been in enough meetings now to see that, and we've seen massive changes in the last year, haven't we?
Yeah.
In Avon, and not just in Avon, but in their attitude towards pushing this forward for us as sales leaders. As I say, it's going to be leader-led rather than corporate-led, which is it. So it's really, to be fair, it's a great time to be in and getting involved, because these changes are really going to benefit us. I'm positive of that. Positive they are. Well, so much so we're just spending another £6,000 on our website.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, you know, we're looking forward to everything being in place. You just got to suffer the inconvenience of the change, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
To start off with. Because people don't like change, and there's always loads of questions. And sometimes you can't even answer the question, and you might not know the answer yourself. But as I said earlier, the good thing is we know people. So we can, I mean, right at the very top, we can speak to any of them people, and we can get answers, which is good. So if you ever really stuck, just ask us. But if you don't know anything, we can always do that. We can always. That's the advantage, really, isn't it, of us having that you know that route upwards type of thing. So yeah, don't ever be stuck. The intention should be good. Should actually, you know, start to improve. I think, don't you?
Yeah.
When they get round to it. So anybody else, anything you can think of?
You know, when meetings and things, do you have to be a certain level to be able to go to them?
It depends what meeting it is. Like the last one for next week, the 22nd, that is like a trial meeting for ones that they're going to have in the future. So you will be invited to those ones in the future. And Avon are talking that maybe instead of like only 200 people being invited, they're going to like invite 1,000 people to a bigger event. So
And Live Your Dream in September.
Yeah, it used to be senior coordinators and above, but I'm not sure if someone's done well, then they will open it up to, you know, lower down as well, or if they don't put places up, they will offer it up lower down.
What I can say is, as soon as it opens up, if
you're invited, you want to book straight away. Otherwise you'll miss the boat.
Yeah, definitely, because the meetings get booked up really quickly. Yeah. So as soon as you know it's opened up, book straight away if you can.
Right, okay.
That's definitely good advice, isn't it? But not sure how Avon. Sometimes you have to qualify for certain meetings, but Live Your Dream you won't have to, I won't imagine. And as Nadine said, this one on the 22nd is like a trial meeting. Is it like a workshop?
I think so.
Not quite sure exactly the format. And that's a bit strange for me to say, really, because we've been involved with the production of it, as it were. So
it is like a business development.
Yeah, it's like a business development workshop. Whether there's any recognition there, I don't know. There could be some recognition, but it's not designed for that. I don't think it's designed really to give us all extra information and information about the changes, business information. But there could be some recognition there as well. Hopefully. It'd be quite cosy, 200 people, quite good.
Also, I think in everyone's area, I don't know if it's the same across all the divisions, but we've had a couple of business opportunity meetings, and they've been really, really good.
Some divisionals coming up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's We've had the
No, and John just invited us to one. John
that's a
Scofield.
regional.
Yes,
no,
it
that's
must
for
be a regional.
execs.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
right.
We could be invited to that many, honestly. I don't know where I'm up to. But yeah, the divisional ones, each division are instructed to have meetings quarterly as well. So every sales leader would be invited to them. So we've got to pop along to them. But like you say, Lorna, the business opportunity ones, they're starting to do them as well. They'll be up and down the country shortly, I think.
Yeah, so it's worth asking your area manager to, you know, if there's any up, you know, coming up in your area, really, because because they were very, you know, they were very good, and you know, bringing along people that are interested.
Yeah.
In the business. That's
And you always want to go, if you can go to meetings, it's good to go, because you're going to meet other people like yourselves. You're going to meet other sales leaders you can always run information by and have a chat with, but you're going to meet the corporate staff as well, the area managers, divisional managers. It gets your name known, gets your face known, you know, and it gives you, you know, it gives you opportunity to speak to these people on a one-to-one basis. And then if you know your area manager, you know, she might well physically say to you, are you doing anything on Monday? Like, I've got a stall, you don't fancy popping along? And it gets you involved then pretty quickly. And then, you know, you'll start to get leads off your area managers. She'll start to help you locally on top of everything else that you're doing and you're already getting. So your business will grow quicker. It's as simple as this, really. The more you do and the more help you get, the quicker you're going to grow. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? In a nutshell. So, you know, just be active really in doing stuff and being involved. Yeah, go to meetings. Go to the meeting if you can, definitely. We don't miss many meetings we could go to, do we?
No.
fantastic. Gosh, we've taken up a lot of your time, guys. I hope that's okay.
Yeah. Well, obviously we designated the time. We've got a call though, haven't we? We've got a,
she knows we're on a webinar.
Oh, bless her. Wonderful. No, I really appreciate it, because it's nice for these guys to meet you effectively. You know, and I've been saying how helpful, and you know, it's great to be part of your team. So, really appreciate your time.
No problem. Well, listen, if you're all on the Facebook group, it'll help you, because you've got, you know, access to everybody else as well. You can always ask questions, you know, because sometimes you might not be available when somebody wants an answer there and then. Put it on the sales leader group and somebody will answer you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's worked for us as well, because these days we're not available that often, are we?
No.
You know, somebody will always answer somebody. So yeah, go on there and use it. It's a good little facility, really.
Hopefully we can meet in the flesh soon.
Well, yeah, definitely. Has anybody else got an invite for the 22nd?
No, we haven't.
You're a bit too new.
Yeah.
That technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when Live Your Dream comes round, though, you won't be, because that's in September. And as I say,
hopefully.
Definitely, if you get an invite, book it as soon as you can.
And if they say whose table do you want to sit on, say your upline, so say Lorna, and then Lorna, you say Dawn will say us. So, because the table will be that big, we won't be able to fit on one table, obviously. So it confused, everybody used to just say my name, and then it confused everything. So then last time we said to everybody, just put your upline's name, because everyone was split up from their uplines last time, because it just confused everybody. So just put your upline's name.
It doesn't really matter.
And then the upline will put our name,
anyway.
and then,
We're all close by anyway. They sit us on, you know, close
next
by
to the
tables. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good. I think we had about 40 people in the past, 30 odd anyway. We'll see how it goes anyway. Let's just see. There should be plenty of us.
Team photograph. We need a team photograph.
Yeah.
If we can all fit on. Panoramic.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, listen, just all keep doing what you're doing, and there's no shortcuts. It's about recruiting. And just one little thing that we did, right, when we started off, we had 7 people signed up in Nadine's team, and we earned £30 commission. And the simple fact of the matter was, we understood Well, 14 people will equal £60. And that is it. That principle has carried on with us all the way. You know, you can easily double your earnings by it's about the sign-ups. And some of them sign-ups will become sales leaders for you as you go forward in the future. So there is no shortcuts. It's about getting your sign-ups done. Employ yourself, as you already know. You're all doing really well with your retail, so that's good. But you need to do the same with the team building side. And just be durable. People let you down all the time.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't like you are. You know, they let you down. But you say next, move on, and just keep going. And then eventually you'll get them numbers in. And we'll start to build. I mean, obviously, Lorna, you're evidence of that. You and Graham, we're evidence of it. Twice we've done it. And there's people, many people in team, all doing the same thing. You know, and you pick somebody good up and it'll start throwing you forward very quickly. Just get as many people as you can on board. I think that's the key, really.
And it seems really scary. I remember, you know, Dawn saying to us, you know, we've got 70 people in our front line. I remember thinking, oh my goodness, how are we ever going to get 70 people? But, you know, it's just, as you say, just keep plugging away and you know, it happens, doesn't it? Just doing the same things.
I think with Clean Easy, you was far better retailers than us, because we're restricted to territory, aren't we, and different things. So you know, we already know that your retail is far better than most people in Avon. But I do think our recruiting side is easier, and our residual income side is better than you had in Clean Easy. So you put them both together, you're on a pretty good, you know, on a bit of a winner, hopefully. It just takes time to build up, doesn't it? It just takes time. Yeah, but I think we should all do really well.
Bless you. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and giving us all your advice. And as you say, hopefully we'll all meet up anyway soon.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we do a bit of travelling about to different regional meetings and stuff now and again. So if any of you are going, just let us know.
Yeah.
You know, and if we are going, obviously we'll make sure we meet up.
Fabulous. That's wonderful. No, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Enjoyed it. Been good. Nice meeting everybody.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
And you.
Bye.
Well, you can contact us anytime.
Okay.
Good stuff.
All right.
Right, that's it then. We're going another call now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Thanks again, guys. Have a good evening, everybody.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Bye.